So, if you're looking at the Worcester County real estate market this fall, you might be scratching your head. On the one hand, you hear that home prices are still up, but then you also hear that price cuts are on the rise. So, what's the real story? Let's solve this puzzle together.
I mean, this is the question, right? Is the market hot or is it not? The headlines seem to contradict each other every other day. It makes it really tough to figure out if you're in a strong position, whether you're looking to buy or thinking about selling. And this right here is the paradox at the heart of it all. On one side, yeah, home prices are still climbing, which usually signals a pretty strong market. But then you look at the other side, and nearly a third of sellers are having to slash their asking price. How can both of these things be happening at the same time? Or can they? To really get what's going on, we have to look past the clickbait headlines and dive into the actual data. The numbers, as they say, don't lie. So let's see what they're telling us. Okay, first things first, let's just set the stage. The typical home value in Worcester County right now is sitting just under $490,000. This is kind of the benchmark, the center of gravity for the market. Just keep that number in the back of your mind. Now, with all the talk about a slowdown, this might surprise you. Prices are still up 2.1% compared to this time last year. Now, that's not some huge, crazy jump, but it does show that the market has some real resilience. This isn't a crash. Think of it more as a market correction. And check this out, demand is still holding strong. A sale-to-list ratio of over 100% means that on average, homes are actually selling for a little bit more than their final asking price. So while the crazy bidding wars have definitely cooled, the right house, priced correctly, is still getting a ton of attention. But here's the number that's causing all the confusion: 1/3. A full third of sellers are having to cut their prices. What this tells us loud and clear is that today's market is way more price sensitive than it was a year ago. You can't just throw a high number on your house and expect a line out the door anymore. And this isn't some brand new thing either. As you can see, the share of homes needing a price cut is actually higher now than it was last year. This is a crystal clear signal that the balance of power is slowly but surely shifting away from sellers and a little more toward buyers. So what's the big wild card driving this whole shift? Well, in two words, mortgage rates. They're hanging out around 6.27%. And while that's down from the absolute peak, it's still high enough to really squeeze buyers' budgets. And since forecasts are saying they'll probably stay in the sixes for a while, that pressure on sellers to be competitive with their pricing, well, it's not going away. Okay, so we've geeked out on the data. But what does this all actually mean for you if you're thinking about selling your house this fall? Well, for sellers, it's really a tale of good news and bad news. The good news is prices are stable and there are definitely still serious buyers out there looking. The bad news? Those buyers are a lot more picky. This market has absolutely zero tolerance for a home that's overpriced or isn't looking its best. It's just less forgiving. So if you want to succeed, you've got to have a smart game plan. Number one, and this is the big one, price it right from day one. Number two, make sure your home is prepped and in fantastic condition. And number three, photos. Seriously, in this market, you only get one chance to make that amazing first impression online. All right, let's flip the script. What does all this mean from the other side of the table? For buyers who've been waiting on the sidelines for things to calm down, this might be the window of opportunity you've been waiting for. I mean, think about it. The runaway price growth has finally cooled. There's more inventory to choose from, and that feeling of frantic panic is pretty much gone. Now, don't get me wrong, affordability is still the number one challenge, but at least the chaos has died down. And this quote from our source material really nails it for buyers right now. Trying to time the market perfectly and wait for some big, uncertain rate drop, that's a tough game to play. For a lot of folks, the smarter move could be to find the right house and lock in a rate now, rather than gambling on a future that might never come. So let's bring it all home. What's the bottom line for anyone trying to make a move in Worcester County this fall? Well, it all comes down to one simple word: strategy. We're calling this a selective market. And what we mean by that is success doesn't depend on how fast you can move anymore. It depends on how smart you are. It's about careful planning, good preparation, and making decisions based on solid info, whether you're buying or selling. You know, you can think of it like this. For the last few years, the market felt like a frantic sprint. The goal was just to get in the game before you got left behind. Now, it's more like a chess match. It's not about speed, it's about how you play the game. So that's the real story of the Worcester County market this fall. It's more balanced, it's more stable, and it's definitely more strategic than it has been in years. So the only question left to answer is, what's your next move going to be?